Your boy Dre back at it again. This one you want to see. This is some fried chicken, some cabbage, and some potato salad. Let's lock in. First, I started drying off my red potatoes after I rinsed them off. Make sure they're nice and dry. And then I started dicing these up in cubes. I wanted to get real close so you guys can see my cuts here. As you can see, I'm cutting it real nice and smooth here. This is what you want. Perfect cuts, evenly cuts. Now, y'all see how evenly cut, how perfect they look in that bowl. This is what you want to aim for right here. Now, the water came to a boil, so I started adding my potatoes in this pot. This is what you want to do. We're going to cook this for maybe 10 minutes, but I'm going to show you what it looks like when you're about to pull the potatoes out. Now, while the potatoes are in the pot, I started on my yellow onion that we're going to add to the potato salad. So I started dicing this up. This you want a really small dice. I would even suggest mince this up. So I let my potatoes cook for 2 minutes and then added my eggs. Now we're going to check to see if these potatoes are done. How are we going to tell if they're done? We're going to stick a fork through it. Now, if a fork goes this potato, it's definitely done. That's when you know you need to drain these. I put the eggs underneath cold water and chopped them up while the potatoes were cooling. Now we're going to add the ingredients. We started off by adding a full cup of mayonnaise into it. After the mayonnaise, we're going to add our 5 eggs to this. This is a 1/4 cup of the minced onions that we diced up from before. And then a 1/2 cup of pickle juice. This is my secret ingredient. A lot of people don't use pickle juice. The salt and pepper, I use Montreal steak seasoning. I had these soaking in lime juice, so now we're going to pat dry, get all that excess water off and all that excess lime juice off. We're going to season this chicken. We start off with Montreal chicken seasoning, then some onion powder, now some garlic powder, some black pepper, and some sassoon. Make sure you do it for both sides. Now we're going to put it in a pot for the buttermilk. We added 2 cups of buttermilk into here, a 1/2 cup of Frankie's Red Hot sauce, and then we're going to marinate this overnight. Have all the ingredients in the pot. This is exactly what it should look like. I like marinade in the pot. Now, we pulled the chicken out from yesterday. Now we're going to add our flour to it because we're going to put this back in the refrigerator for another hour and let that flour coat on top of that chicken. This is what you want the chicken to look like before you put it back in the refrigerator. Make sure everything is covered just like I did. Now, while the chicken is still marinating, let's work on our cabbage. I gave it a nice little slam. It's easier to get the root out that way. Now it's time to cut this guy up. So we're going to slice this guy up nice and fine. All chopped up the way I want it to look. And this is the way you should look for it too. I think this is a perfect way. Now we're going to cut up our turkey sausage. This is a smoked turkey sausage if you guys want to know. Because we're going to add this to the pot before the cabbage. The oil was ready, so I added my sausage to the oil. As always, you see me stirring. We're going to get this a tiny bit brown, nothing crazy, because we're going to eventually add chicken broth to this. The sausage was where I wanted them to be, so I started adding my cabbage to it. And I'm going to give this a nice little stir, too. Now, why did I put the cabbage in the oil? Because we want to cook the cabbage down. Now we're using a 1/2 stick of unsalted butter. That's all mixed together perfect. So we're going to add our chicken broth into here. We're going to let this simmer for a while to get all that good flavor. Now we're going to add our cabbage to this because now we're almost at the point where we're going to let it simmer for a while to start working on our chicken. Before I start my chicken, make sure we give this a nice stir. As always, want everything to be equally as possible in that pan. The chicken was marinated in the refrigerator for about an hour with the flour. You guys can see how the flour is sticking to the chicken. This is what I want to look for. There's a reason why I do that. We'll see later when I plate this up. My oil was ready, so I started adding my chicken into the pot. Now, this, you don't want to touch the chicken too much when it's cooking. So once you put this in, just let it do its job. Only time you should be touching is when you want to give it that first flip that it needs. Now the chicken is almost ready to put in the oven. You're just looking for the golden brown look. It's almost there, so I left it in the pan for a couple more minutes just to get it a little bit darker. And you can see on the right side, the cabbage is just about there too. I'm going to add my chicken into a sheet pan. And we're going to finish cooking this off in the oven. It tastes better that way. Please believe me, you want to finish your chicken off in the oven. This recipe is mainly for my mom. She loves when I make this for her. So she's like, I want dinner tonight, so I know exactly what she wanted. Now, we added our potato salad to the plate because the chicken is almost ready. And now we're going to start adding our cabbage to this plate slowly. Don't worry about the spillers because we're going to clean that off in a couple of seconds too. I don't want to give nobody no plate with sauce all over the side, so I always clean it up. Whatever you have in your kitchen, a napkin or a towel, just make sure you get all that mess out of there because we're not going to serve our plate ugly. Now the chicken is done, so we're going to plate this up. How do I know the chicken was done? It temped at 165. So we're going to put this on the plate, like I said, and then we're going to use some chopped up fine parsley for garnish regions. Now you guys tell me what you think. I think it looks gorgeous. Hit me up with any questions. You can find me on Facebook, TikTok, or YouTube. Your boy Big Dre.